This is World Awakenings, the fast track to enlightenment with your host, Carl Gruber. World Awakenings is a podcast dedicated to opening your mind, your heart, and your eyes to the fact that the world's population is now, more than ever, awakening to all things spiritual, metaphysical, and enlightening, and just how they play an all-important role in our daily life. So join Carl on this enlightening experience as he interviews metaphysical and spiritual experts to discuss, debate, and delve deeply into the hows and whys of this worldwide awakening.
All of us are looking for a life of meaning and significance. A life that makes a difference in the world. A life that truly matters. We believe this is found through the right people, platform, and purpose. We call this movement thru. It starts with giving people greater health through the power of our proactive wellness products. Thru's innovative formulas deliver demonstrable results by maximizing bioavailability and cellular absorption, ensuring people everywhere can enjoy the nutrition they need to operate at their best. Building on our foundation of people-focused products, we provide a platform for unparalleled entrepreneurship and personal growth. thru is there beside you every step of your journey towards building a business and a better life. Finally, we know that a sense of real purpose, the kind that moves hearts, minds, and mountains, comes through serving and elevating others. This philosophy is reflected in our caring community, which bring hope and life-saving help to people around the world. It's time to redefine what's possible and activate your full potential. It's time to live a life of purpose. It's time for thru.
Welcome back, my friends, to World Awakenings, a fast track to enlightenment, the show that dives deep into all things spiritual, metaphysical, and enlightening. I'm your host, Carl Gruber. Now, before we head off to meet our featured guest here on episode number 143, please take a moment to get your copy of my book, True Spirituality and the Law of Attraction, a beautiful symbiotic relationship. The book that will help you to build a rock-solid personal foundation so you can live the life you love and love the life you live. Now available as an ebook or paperback and soon as an audiobook. Just click the link below in the show notes to get your copy today. Well, after 5 years of my hosting this show, I can tell you that I have only a couple guests who have appeared on this show more than once. And our guest today, Carol Collins, is one of those people, with this being her third appearance. Carol is a gifted channel, the voice of the Jeshua Collective, in which her ability spontaneously manifested in March 2019 after 9 months of quiet meditation. Now, through Jeshua, teaches about collective consciousness manifesting with ease, health, and wellness through natural healing and intuitive studies, bringing out the natural abilities to connect with guides and loved ones. In 2021, Jeshua channeled 11 books through Carol, with more on the way, and Carol has been interviewed by celebrity personalities, featured in over 20 magazines, and named one of the top 10 women to watch by LA Weekly. So Carol is no longer called the Pittsburgh Medium and is now known as America's Medium. She's been channeling work. Her channeling work provides the depth of Edgar Cayce, the substance of Jane Roberts, and done in the style of Esther Hicks, who is famous for channeling Abraham. And I'm really excited to have you back. Welcome back, Carol.
And thank you. It's very fun to be here. I didn't know that I was the only one that is a recurring guest. I appreciate that.
Well, one of them. I've had a couple, but I think you're the only one I've been on 3 times. So, and I'm excited because I love having you and the teachers now. And so, you've come a long way since the teachers started communicating with and speaking through in 2019. How has your life, Carol, changed since all this started?
Dramatically. It's that's probably the best word for it. So I was Well, I guess I'll just give my age away. I was 48, and my guide, who uses the name Yeshua, calls me a late bloomer. We do have personal conversations, and it is quite nice. I sometimes refer to them as my non-physical best friends, and and almost companion-like, because when I have a decision to make, or I need to do something, or I have just worn out my own methods of trying to figure something out, then I just stop and I ask, what am I doing wrong here? Can you help me? And then they always say something funny like, well, you could have asked us in the first place. And I say, I know. I thought I had it though. And they said, but you didn't. I said, I know. And then they'll say something like, so what are you going to do about that next time? I said, I think I'm just going to ask you if I have everything that I need. And they say, okay. So we'll have a personal conversation. So it's a life where I have, it's funny. It was just probably a couple of weeks ago, and I was thinking back on this same topic, where my life has gone in the last 4.5 years. And it's like this beautiful light bulb that goes off sometimes. I am a medium now. I'm a medium now. I'm not a project manager. I'm not a program manager. I'm not into, IT and the whole DoD guns and bombs and, F-18s and doing all the stuff that I did. And, prior to that was a Marine and then a contractor. And I did that for 20 some years. And now I'm a medium. That's the biggest change, and the biggest difference is going from the work day, the schedule, the things that I did and the things that I do now. And then it always dawns on me too, gosh, I have conversations. That means two-way dialogue, conversations with people that are not here in the physical world. And I do it out loud, but I also do it in the mind's eye. So out loud is channeled, and that is the teacher's definition of channeled. So just for all your viewers, the teachers are a collective of non-physical beings. They call themselves, they are teachers. It's like their job. They teach, and they teach in the non-physical place, but they also teach through me, so that people can learn what it is that they want us to learn, which is a lot of different things. And they give conversation, and it's what they teach. So they are teaching people, by way of the essential material, how to perfect their ability to be a medium. What I did is I became a channeled medium, and now a channeler. And then I gave up my previous career. I just retired. I didn't retire, but I gave up the entire career and moved into mediumship. And this is what I do full time. And I started doing this full time about 2.5 years into it. And I didn't do that until they said I was ready for it. And what they're doing is creating a new generation of mediums and channelers. They want to teach the world how to channel, because they say people are getting it wrong. People are learning to shift into clairvoyant a lot easier. There's so many people that are doing different kinds of meditation and just a quiet way of life, conscious living, healthy living, all kinds of beautiful things are showing up all over the place. And so people are shifting into clairvoyant mediumship to some degree, but they want people to be able to maximize their full potential. And so the way that they describe it is, intuition is your base level ability to receive anything, any kind of guidance from beyond. And then through silent meditation, you can shift into clairvoyant mediumship, and then advance that into channeled mediumship. When a channeled medium uses that ability as their primary method of conveying information from the other side, then their mind will eventually open up to deeper conversation. And that's when the teachers call them a channeler. And then they decide what they're going to teach. So, mediums, we answer questions, not we, but we convey answers or solutions or guidance that's coming from the other side. But questions are posed to us and conveyed to the other side. And, so it's two-way dialogue, but it's all based on questions that people have and personal guidance or decision making or curiosity, but it's questions based. When someone steps into the level of channeled mediumship that they call channeler, then non-physical team steps in and says, we want to teach, and we want to teach this subject, and we want to do in whatever way. Usually it's a book or a lecture series, and eventually workshops with opportunities to ask live questions. And that's what I do now. So I have shifted my entire career, but also my mindset, my eating, my healthy living is what you do, what you think, what you say, what you observe, what you engage in, what you participate in, but also your beliefs. Once you start doing conscious living, and I do what they call source-led living, which is being guided on what things to implement, then life just gets a little different because energy becomes a topic of conversation. Guidance is part of every single day now. And, before this all happened to me, I was not studying to be a medium. I was not even a spiritual person. I was raised Catholic, and so I had a religious background, but I wasn't a practicing Catholic, off and on in my adult years, but at that time I wasn't. So it was just me living life, trying to do the best that I could, working full time, and I also had a part-time position as a leadership development and training coach. And so, I was moving in the direction of teaching leadership. That's what I was expecting to do full time after leaving the IT industry. And I wanted to bring forward, this is my own thought, but I thought was my own thought before all of this happened to me. I wanted love leadership to make its way into the foreground. And being a person in a leadership position, I see so many leaders that are just not using what they can, which is their influence for the betterment of their employees. And so the way I see it is, if somebody really takes a look at their own life story and you really look at it from a lens of honesty, who am I? Who have I become? What have I done? What am I proud of? Who am I? And you really look at it and you say, this is my life story. This is me. When you do that, then you can look at other people and you start to say, well, they've had a life story and that's who they've become. That's that person's life story. That's who they become. And then you start to see people as people instead of employees. And so that was my desire at the time to, step into leadership development arena in a bigger way and bring forward the idea of taking a look at your own life story and loving it, and then shifting your perspective to help other people. And then I found Abraham, and Abraham taught me how to meditate. And then I did. And then I didn't miss a day. And so I always, in every interview that I do, and it's not self-serving, it's just, I think people deserve credit where credit is due. And so I just say thank you always to Esther and acknowledge her abilities are fabulous. I acknowledge her because she's doing something that not everybody does. She's worldwide and she's doing what she does, and she's not stopping anytime soon. And she's getting law of attraction out there, but she's also just a very delightful human being. And without her ability to do what she's doing, I wouldn't have my ability. But also, there's so many people that follow Esther and the teachings of Abraham. And there's so much information out there that more and more people are gravitating towards law of attraction. And there's human law of attraction teachers, and they're good. But when you have a non-physical teacher that wants to teach law of attraction, in my mind, I just say, why would you go anywhere else? And so the collective of teachers, and I had some students that just started calling them the teachers, the teachers, the teachers, and it sort of stuck. And so now it's just, the teachers of Yeshua, the Yeshua Collective, but the teachers is becoming, it's kind of nostalgic a little bit for me to say the Yeshua Collective, because so many people are just calling them the teachers now. And I like that. But what they teach through me as a channeler is they teach about non-physical life and why we're having a physical life, and where your loved ones are, and what happens to people, and what do we do on the other side, and why are we in the physical life, and what is life purpose, and what is that all about? So that's what they call pillar 1, the foundation material. Pillar 2 is the topic of conversation that every non-physical teacher provides in a channel conversation: law of attraction, how you manifest by way of psychic ability. And pillar 3 is partnering with your non-physical team to heal the body and the mind and get your life back on track, and also get your soul intentions met. And then pillar 4 is unfoldment into mediumship. And they say that they're wanting to train people and teach people and create a new generation of channelers. And I think that's great, because we all need conversation, and we all need guidance. And without non-physical guidance, we would just be teaching each other assumption. And assumption, when you really think about it, every book that's ever been written that's in a teaching kind of book, even a healthy living teaching book, it's assumption, because we're human beings. And so what we learn is what we learn, and then how we interpret it and how we understand it is our own interpretation, our own understanding. And maybe that matches someone else, and maybe it doesn't. And when it doesn't, then we think we have a new idea, and then that new idea gets formed, and then we postulate, and we get creative, and then we think we've got this really great way of teaching something. But all of that, when you compare it to non-physical teaching, all of it is assumption. And so the 4 pillars of learning that they call the essential material, I say I just have the honor and privilege to be the channeled person that they are teaching that through. And maybe at some point in time, somebody else will step forward and do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. And so one of my wish list items is that, since they're teaching and training people to be a channeled person, is, wouldn't it be fun if there was highly qualified channeler in every country, in every language, so that the non-physical teachers could teach the full suite of information. And then human population, we have it, and we have memory of it, and we have video of it, and books of it, and then we all just get happier and healthier.
Well, that's a beautiful thought, actually. I really like that. But we're going to bring in the teachers here in a moment. I just want to say to the viewers and listeners that back in September 2021, I had the privilege to spend the weekend with the teachers in Carroll down in St. Augustine, Florida, with, I think maybe there was a dozen of us, and it was an entire weekend of energy clearing, a lot of teaching. And what was amazing is that, to be with Carol, she's literally on as a channel the entire time with you for 10, 12, 15 hours a day. And you're amazing in that respect. For me, it was one of the most enhancing learning weekends I have ever had in my entire life. And I'm so grateful to you and the teachers. So it was absolutely amazing. But Carol, if we can, let's bring the teachers in, and we'll talk to them a little bit.
That's easy. Go ahead and introduce your first question. They always just
Okay. All
Step
right.
in, they'll introduce themselves as they always do, but it's always nice and easy. My mind goes quiet faster when posed with a question. So,
All right. Well, of course, the teachers, they're formally known as the Yeshua Collective still, but now also the teachers. So, teachers, who exactly are you? Who are you? Where do you are you from? You exist in a different dimension, a different level of reality?
no, we're not in a different level of reality. We are in the only place that exists for real. We call sub-reality. You are in a playground that was created for non-physical beings to play in. But it's not just play. You're here to learn something. And you are developing your senses as a soul being. And this is part of the curriculum, if you want to think of it that way. It's advanced material. It is not an outing. It is not going on a field trip. It's not that kind of learning. You, in the non-physical dimension, learn many things. And you are learning how to do different things as a soul being. Entity being is what we mean. You use the platform of Earth to stay connected mentally with your teacher. That teacher guides you into going places and doing things. We don't have no understanding of human physical life. We've all done it hundreds, sometimes thousands of times. It all depends on who we are and what our intentions were when we decided to participate as a person. When we say we are in the only place that is real, it means that life begins here where we are. And we participate in human physical life, but human physical life is temporary. Non-physical life is not. So where are we? We are where you came from, and we are where you will go back to. We never leave. If we are doing guide work, we never leave. The position of keeping our awareness on those that we are guiding and anything and everything that has to do with their life. Who are we? We are what we call the teachers of the teachers. So Carol is a human being and she has a guide. That guide is what we call teacher. Because over here, they are your teacher. You don't sit at a desk in a classroom with a notebook and pencil, but you do go to school. But you go to the classes and you go to the arenas that are interesting to you. And so you have teachers. You have more evolved beings, and they guide you and they teach you. They instruct you. They are instructors. They are teachers. So you will know, and everyone has their own guide, you will know that being as your teacher when you come back. They sent you and they will there to greet you, but they're with you your entire lifespan. So how did that teacher learn the skills to become a guide of human physical life? They had to have a teacher. So that's what we are. We are the teachers of the teachers in the non-physical place. So we are the beings, and there are many of us, who teach soul beings how to be a guide. And then that guide teaches younger generation soul beings how to participate in human physical life. That guide is a teacher. We taught them how to do their job. While that guide is doing their job, you are in physical form. They never leave you, and they never leave their awareness of you, and they never stop creating for you. They never stop healing the body. They never stop. The entire time that you are in physical platform of Earth, they never stop. When you come back, they review your life with you. There is a review, and you sit down with that teacher. And then you go back to non-physical life. And then you do other things, and you also participate in the world as a soul being. And then you continue and continue. We joined Carol's guide. We'll just call that being first level teacher. We joined that being when Carol's abilities began to rise, when they began to rise. As she accelerated, we observed. It's the guide that brings those abilities out. Her abilities manifested to her in a very short amount of time because she only started keeping track of it about a month before the abilities surfaced. Before that, she was doing meditation to cope. Life changes. She started to feel more connected to her grandparents who had already passed. And she began to wonder if her parents were available to guide her. She started to wonder about what a guide was and what a soul was used for, if it was real at all, if any of the religious teachings were real. She started to open her mind, and that was about a month before this ability surfaced. We say she's a late bloomer because she should have had these abilities by the time she was about 35. So she was being trained for most of her life to keep her emotions steady, to keep her activities not overly busy, but active in healthy environments. She was guided to meet soul intentions. We do tell her she has not met most of them, but channeled, she exceeded. Most people are like that. You come into the world with a set of intentions that you created, and then your guide is helping you get them, and anything else that is healthy for you. If you're wanting to manifest a fight, we will not help you, but we will help you by soothing your emotions, by offering distractions of every variety, by offering memories of happier time, of something else to do. And when your mind is off that topic, then we get down to work with the healing component. So we don't help you get whatever you want, but we do help you get whatever you want that is healthy. And then we're always guiding you to hopefully also get some soul intentions done. But once you're here in the physical body, then your vision board, your wish list has to come first. Otherwise, you would be a puppet on the string, and we don't want that. We want you to have powerful psychic ability to manifest your lives, and we want you to have powerful ocularity and channeled to be guided verbally throughout your life. But it's not throughout your life, truly. It's getting later and later and later. Those that are in their 70s and 80s, although they know it not, their ability to receive guidance is there. 50s and 60s is when the blossoming is occurring. We like blossoming to occur in the 30s for those that have a set intention. For those that don't have a set intention, 40s. And that time frame is shifting more and more and more. That's why we're coming in droves through all channeled people about law of attraction. Be happy and then, be happy and then, be happy and then. Focus on the positive. It is the positive movement, the glad effect, the good human project. Be a good human. Be a good participant in human physical life and leave a legacy of positive emotion. It's just positive emotion that you're wanting to accept as your dominant emotion. Because when you do, we can guide you easier. Verbal conveyance of that guidance is easier still. And verbal can be presented in the mind as a thought, or can be presented out loud as spoken word. Out loud spoken word is the only definition that we acknowledge as channeled. It's used synonymous with positive thought, and that's not the case. Conversation originates in the place that we are speaking from. And then it is received and then translated and then allowed as spoken word. That's channeled. And there is no other definition. People expect to be guided. And so sometimes they think they are. We like that. We want everyone to feel drawn to meditation. Silent meditation is the only way to bring out your mediumship abilities. If someone does not meditate in very small increments every single day as a way of life, then any ability that surfaces is psychic. And psychic is a powerful ability, and we love it. We want no more readings done by way of psychic ability, however, because it's not guidance from your non-physical team. It's not guidance from your non-physical team. And so we just say, can we help you? Can we help you? Can we help train you? Can we help you? Can we help you manifest mediumship ability? Can we help you bring out your clairvoyantness? Can we help you with learning the art of allowing? And that's where we want to have a conversation. The art of allowing. The art of the subconscious mind allowing words to be spoken that did not originate with human being. And that's challenged.
And I know that's a topic you like to address, the fact that there is a difference between psychics, people who are psychics and clairvoyants, and a true trance channel like Carol. I mean, if a psychic and a clairvoyant, their own thoughts and emotions get in the way, right?
They do, as well as in channeled. Let's put it this way. You would not assume to be a master electrician as soon as you realized that you had an interest in it. And the same goes with mediumship. There are far too many that assume that they have reached mastery once they realize that some conversation is coming through. Now, the world is also teaching each other how to be psychic. Now, psychic is available. It's a different ability. Psychic is not conversing with the other side. Psychic is, in a magnetic way, collecting memories, collecting information, but memories are two-part. Subject plus emotion. All memory is a combination. They're intertwined. If you could see what energy looks like, it's idea, which is a subject, and emotion, and they are twirling around each other. They're two distinct wavelengths, but they are interconnected. Psychic ability is by magnetic attraction, it's built in that way, to collect memories. And when you have enough, of similar memories, then you have something to manifest. That's how you manifest. It's a quantity-based reality that you live in. While you are accumulating, you don't know it. Once you have enough, it spills into physical life, and then you have a thought, or then you have a hand to hold, or whatever it is. Mediumship, not magnetic attraction to human thought. That's psychic. ESP, magnetic attraction to human thought. That's psychic. Mediumship is when the subconscious mind understands that there is a certain location within your energy field that it must go to receive conversation and healing. When the subconscious mind understands that there is a location, there is a well of knowledge and there's a well of healing, and you need to dip your bucket into the well. Now, that's a beautiful analogy, and it's not a well, but it is a location. So when we teach the mechanics, because when the subconscious mind is aware of the mechanics, then it can learn faster and easier. And then we have a potential person to teach through. We want the world to know that we're available. The unconscious body, the energy field, the energy body, it has different components in it. That's where memory is stored. That is what is clogged. That is the proverbial clogged pipes. That is where all emotions are. That is where trauma resides. And that is what needs healing. Problem is, people think that they can heal trauma. And you can't heal trauma, because trauma, the emotions and the experience of traumatic things, is in the grid. The grid is a structure that houses memories, and it's a non-physical structure, and it houses your physical life memories in your energy field. And human beings, we love you so much, but you don't know where your energy field is. You can't see it. You can't sense it. You cannot sense that which is non-physical. You're not designed to do that. So what can you do? Well, you can be happier human beings. Then you accumulate more memories with emotions of positivity. You still cannot heal that which was negative, but you can supplement and you can accumulate an abundance of positive, and then you're on your way to health. But how do you heal? That's reserved for the non-physical team. All of you have a non-physical healing team. It starts with your guide and one other, and then as life progresses, more step in depending on what's going on in your life. We teach the mechanics because the mechanics have been almost forgotten. We have taught this material in every continent where people have ever lived. We've brought the essential material forward again and again and again and again. Law of attraction is one component of the essential material. We are in the non-physical dimension. And the structure that you use to pick up a fork and eat your lunch, that's your physical component of your life experience here in the world. It's your physical component. There is a non-physical component as well. Memories accumulate in the non-physical component, and then when enough memories have accumulated, then it bleeds over into the chakras, which then connect with the brain, and then physical life is manifested. You have some knowledge of what the brain does. You have almost lost all knowledge of what your psychic ability is where it is, what it is, the components of it, and why you are expected to use it and develop it. You are expected to develop it. It's one of the sole intentions that everyone has. But far too many people are developing it and then giving readings. What is psychic nature of the mind? Your ability to gravitate towards information, emotions first, subject second. And so in a psychic reading, the mind, meaning the unconscious, subconscious mind, is at perceiving information from another human being's energy field and then bringing it into the subconscious mind strong enough that it can be produced as thought, image, sounds, vision, words, voices. But it's all resonant thought. It's not guidance. We know that that's not how the world teaches it. It is how we teach. We want to differentiate two abilities, mediumship abilities and psychic abilities. Let's just say your conversations with those of us that are in the non-physical dimension and your ability to manifest anything and everything that you want. Mediumship, psychic. Conversation with the non-physical dimension and your ability to manifest. That's what psychic is for. We don't want you to use psychic to offer readings, and we don't want you to assume that psychic is a conversation from beyond, because it isn't. And that is why we have stepped in to retrain the world in their desire to offer readings and to offer segments or sessions of healing. We teach, and we teach, and we teach, and we teach, and we teach. And so we'll bring the information forward, and we hope to positively impact the entire world. We know that we won't. The entire world is not interested in existential kind of things, but that percentage is growing.
I think it's important that you differentiated that between psychic and what you do as a medium and channel. But what I would like to do now, and we kind of touched on this a little bit earlier in our talk here, is find out a little bit more about what you call the essential material, the 4 pillars of learning. What exactly, again, are these pillars, and why is it important for a person to practice and live them?
Well, you don't live them exactly. So let's just say at some point in time, you decided to be a human physical person. You decided to incarnate as a person. And you identified where that would occur, when it would occur, and several things that would give you a starting point. And then you began. Now that amount of information is brought forward again and again and again and again and again through channeled people. And now human beings have understood that material and are also beginning to reteach it. We teach, and then people are now reteaching, and they've got that much pretty good. Now some have held on to more ancient teachings from us about knowledge within. And there is knowledge within, but you can't get to it. And that's the part that is lacking. That's the part that people have forgotten. When you enter into human physical life, you bring with you the essential material. It's what Carol calls crown knowledge. We adore people. One thing that you are all trying to do, although you know it not, is to uncover as much crown knowledge as possible. Now, it's not crown knowledge, so we acknowledge that she gives it that playful title, but it's not crown knowledge, it's the essential material. but it's located in bands of the crown. So its location is an imprint in the bands of the crown chakra. It's an imprint. It's not buried. It's not revealed to you, however, if you do not find an interest in it. If you find an interest in it, then we will guide you to more and to more and to more and to more. And that's just general loving attention from your guide to help bring you closer and closer and closer. But when it is revealed to you, not taught to you. So if you open up a book and there is some good conveyance of accuracy of the essential material, let's just say law of attraction, because that's the one that's most prevalent, then you might start to have more questions. You might begin to, yeah, but. You might begin to ponder. You might begin to what if, and then we guide you further. But if that type of person also finds enjoyment in silent meditation, not any meditation, silent meditation, not mantras, not singing bowls, not guided verbal meditation, not sounds at all, silent meditation. When someone finds an interest in silent meditation and they begin to do it, short increments is fine, then little by little, the essential material, knowledge within, is uncovered a little at a time. It's like a yellow brick road. You can't jump around and have different amounts of information present itself. It's not like that. Your guide will, by way of healing frequencies, begin to uncover the knowledge within. But it's systematic and it's in order and it's fun. And when a human being when the crown is clean and that information is available, and if that person is a channeled person, then we will teach more than law of attraction. And that's what we are doing. That's what we are doing. Knowledge within, you can't get to it, but you do have it. Now, what is it? It's everything about what non-physical life is, who you are, where you're from, what your level is, who teachers are, what your soul family does predominantly, and why you're having human physical life. How many platforms of earth life there are, what each one is for, and who guides you in each one. What the healing components are as part of your environment. And the more you know, the more you get. The more you know, the more knowledge you get. But the more you know, the more spontaneous healing you get as well. Pillar 2 is magnetic attraction. And what you do with it. The newest term is law of attraction. Thoughts create your reality. The psychic nature of the subconscious mind. It is how the unconscious part of you creates your life. That's pillar 2. But you can influence it, and that's the good part. Pillar 3, partnering with your non-physical team so that they can heal the grid. And when they do, your life gets better and better. And there are things that you can do to participate. We teach that too. But pillar 3 is how to partner and what your healing squad is doing and why they're doing it. Pillar 4 is unfoldment into your potential for verbal conversation with those of us that are still in the non-physical dimension, starting with your guide, and then anyone else after that. When a human being finds an interest in pillar 1, 2, and 3, then unfoldment into mediumship will come about if they meditate. You can learn the information. You can have a good time asking questions about non-physical life, and many do. And we have a good time answering those questions and providing new conversation about those topics. But just learning pillar 1, 2, and 3 will not cause you to spontaneously awaken into mediumship. And there are 2 levels of mediumship. Ocularity. The world calls that clairvoyant. We call it ocularity. And channeled. And there are 2 levels of channelers. Channeled people that have the ability to have conversations spoken out loud. And then those that have accelerated and have become highly qualified. And then we choose to teach the essential material through them. So we don't teach through clairvoyant people, and we don't teach through channeled people in their novice stages. But if you advance yourself, we surely will. And there's a lot of guides out there that would like to teach and like to write books and like to get a lot of information about the essential material out there. Now, has it always been called the essential material? In the non-physical place, yes. In the human physical world, no. But it is what you need to know here. You need to know that you are a non-physical vibrational being having a physical life experience. And it is good for you to know that from the inside out, not just intellectual education. You can understand intellectually things that have been presented to you. And let's just bring that full circle now. Human beings you all are, but you began as non-physical beings first, and you will return to non-physical life. Everyone does. While you are here, you are people who should be living alongside your guide, not independent of them, not without knowledge of them, but alongside. They are here, you are here, and they are helping, but the unconscious part of you doesn't know it. We teach the mechanics because when you learn the mechanics, then you learn how to communicate and you learn how to be guided. And it's not magic, but for someone that doesn't understand all of the different facets, it certainly does feel like magic. We have a job to do while you're in physical life, and that's what the world has forgotten. We have a job to do. We're not sitting on a cloud. We love you so much, though, but we're not sitting on a cloud, and we're not sitting waiting for you to ask, and we're not hoping that you do ask so that we can dust you off. We have a job to do, and you asked us to do that job before you came into human physical life. What is that job? To guide you, to help you get your soul intentions done, and to help you manifest a life that would provide new and different experiences for you to remain in constant verbal connection with that teacher of yours that you call God. There's many things that human beings don't realize. And we know we did human physical life too. And when we did, we couldn't remember anything either. It's part of the process. It's part of the environment. You don't remember that you have a guide because it's part of the process. There is a solution: meditation. Now, Carl, we know that life is what it is, and life needs to continue, just like we're doing here. Life doesn't always end up exactly the way that you want it. But what are you going to think when things don't work in your favor or work out the way that you thought they would? You have to learn the art of positivity. And when you practice early and often, when things are going well, then it's far easier when things aren't going well. You have to create a pattern. And we talk about patterns, we talk about the mechanics, we talk about the essential material, and we talk about love and light and love and light and love and light and love. And we love, love, love from the perspective of purity. People love from the perspective of all kinds of things. The purest component of your physical life is your non-physical connection with your non-physical team. We want you to have good, healthy connection with physical human beings. And we want you to have a healthy, strong, verbal connection with your non-physical team. The two go hand in hand. Life gets better when you do. We know. We love to teach and we love to be here. So does Carol. She's aware of the time, and she's also aware of energies in the room. Are you feeling something, Carl, down below your knee?
Yes, my cat who's having a party while you're talking, rubbing against it. But not, physically, no, I'm not. But I absolutely love those, the explanation. I could see why it's called the essential material. I love the concept of a pillar because it is a support system for your entire structure. And what you're teaching is the word essential. It is essential for us to awaken as humans and to practice and live at the highest level that we can. And thank you for that beautiful teaching.
You're welcome. We are Yeshua to Speak Now, Carol's guide. So let's talk a moment about that cat.
Okay.
So the cat is domesticated, but it's also a soul being.
Mm-hmm.
Soul being. Now, when that cat transitions from physical life to non-physical life, the cat will be a cat, but it will be an evolved soul being
Mm-hmm.
that could also teach. It's not going to meow over here. It's going to have intellectual conversations as an entity being, and that entity being chose to have physical incarnations as a land-based four-legged animal. So that cat is highly evolved, that specific one. We want you to know that it needs nothing from human physical life. It is a provider. Not all cats. All cats have stronger psychic nature, but the one that you have, it is a constant presence in the world. It incarnates almost immediately. That's a learned, developed behavior. And it brings in the essential material vibrationally. Now, through a human being, we can't do that because human beings don't continue their incarnation cycle in the same way as those that have chosen to incarnate as animals, not just land-based. So when we teach the essential material, when we teach it, we need a channeled person so that we can create words that are spoken out loud. We don't use automatic typing. We don't use clairvoyant nature. We don't use automatic writing. We don't convey in pictures and words. And we don't just do inspiration to teach the essential material. That's all human conveyance of similar train of thought. But we need human beings who find the topic pleasing and find meditation pleasing. It won't come about any other way. Now, there are certain types of animals, and cats are but one, that can step into human physical life as an evolved guide. And that's what that cat is. So that cat vibrates the essential material, but it's a vibration of knowledge. It's different than verbal conveyance of knowledge. Mm-hmm. It's good to know. You have it around you almost always. With the cat near you, meditate with the cat on your lap or within the energy field, and some of that vibrational knowledge will awaken the essential material in you.
Wow, interesting stuff. I know that Maya, my cat, is very, very highly sensitive to all energy, especially my energy. So, but we are talking to the teachers who are coming through Carol Collins, America's Medium. It's been fantastic. We didn't even get a chance to address the 11 books that you have delivered through Carol.
Well, it's more than that. There were 11 in year 2 in 2021. There have been about 7 other books, and there's 5 books that are partially written, and it's just a process of perfecting the proofing of the transcript, and then getting it all together, and then doing everything that needs to be done to put it into book form. But the first newest book, it's called Influence. That one is out in all of your favorite bookstores except for Amazon. I don't have it up on Amazon yet, but it's one of a series of 8, and so they have planned 8 nugget-sized books. They're all around 100 pages. 8 books for each of the pillars in the essential material. So there'll be a total of 32. The first one is out. I have 5 more that are done that are being proofed and put into final manuscript form so that they can all be available, and it'll be within by spring. That first series is going to be done and available.
That's a lot of books. This is just awesome. I love having you, the teachers, and you, Carol, on the show. Your 3rd appearance here, and thank you for blessing us with the incredible teaching. Myself, when I record these, especially this one, I'm going to have to go back and watch and rewatch this, because there's so much information here, and such important information for us to live our best life at the highest level of goodness and love.
Yeah. Well, this time it seemed to me like a broad brush, and sometimes they dive into one pillar and they really start teaching about one certain topic. And this one, it was a little bit about all 4. I love that.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I love you so much, and I appreciate you. You're one of my favorite people, and thank you for being a blessing in my life and the viewers and the listeners.
Oh, back at you, and that's genuine. I love being on the show, but also just connecting with you and being a friend of yours is fun for me, and I appreciate you too. Thank you for having me, and the entire collective of the teachers.
This has been another episode of World Awakenings, the fast track to enlightenment with host Carl Gruber, a certified law of attraction life coach. We welcome you to tune in to each and every episode of World Awakenings as we open your mind, your heart, and your eyes to the fact that the world's population is now, more than ever, awakening to the truth of all things spiritual, metaphysical, and enlightening, and just how much they play an all-important role in our moment-to-moment daily life. Much love and light to you, my friend, and thank you for tuning into World Awakenings.